Okay, so we're back live now.
Okay.
So you were explaining to us how um to view the right way to view a no, to look at it as a chance to evaluate your options, and you're giving us an yeah, maybe you can just go ahead from where you stop.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I was talking about that. I was saying that when you get a no, because like I said, you definitely get a no. Usually I just tell myself, okay, what did I do wrong? It's a time for you to, I think it's a time for you to evaluate yourself. Just look at yourself and say, okay, oh, did I do something wrong? Sometimes it could be that your proposal or your business model is not clear enough, because there's something I've noticed. You can advertise, you can spend money on Facebook ads, you can advertise to people, but if your message is not clear, you might not get any customer. So sometimes I've sat in somebody's office and the person asked me that, what is the use of coding and teaching children coding and robotics? You know? So you can see that from that point, me getting the no was not that the person did not like me or I didn't do something right. It was that the person could not understand what I was doing and how it related to the student. You understand? So sometimes you
Yeah.
need to go back and find out. It's just like when I apply for a job, I do there's something I do. If I get rejected, sometimes I take my time and I write to the recruiter and I ask, can you please tell me what I did wrong?
Hmm.
And you know that every time you do that, you get a response. It might not be immediately, but at some point you get a response explaining what you could have done better. So this is just that situation. Sometimes you need to take your time and ask what you could have done better. Or can
Better.
you tell me why you're telling me a no? It's okay. Make it known that it is okay that for you to say no. It is within your right. But can you just tell me why you're telling me a no so that I know how to do it better next time?
Better next time. Hmm.
You realize that if you are given a chance, if they are given a chance to explain, you can now understand their thought process. And if you understand their thought process and you can talk to them, oftentimes you might end up converting that no into a yes.
Hmm. Yeah. It works. I agree with you. I do. Communication plays a part, a very huge
Yeah,
part there.
a very huge part.
So you've walked us through the concepts behind the topic, the weight of no. Let's dive into your team. Can you tell us a bit about your team? I know you don't run this your business alone. You have people who you partner with. You have other educators, other people who may have your inspiration too, like you. So how are they formed? How do you select your team members?
Okay. In Nigeria, most people are um usually are in the competitive category. Let me
Okay.
just put it like that. Most people want to compete rather than collaborate. And there are
Hmm.
a lot of tech companies around, and I know that um, there are a lot of people that do what I do. But I'd like to think that what I do is different from what they do. But the point is, I can't reach everybody myself. So I need people. For my team members that work directly with my organization, obviously it's a whole process of hiring. Somebody asked me that how difficult is it to hire, and I'm like, I think apart from the one staff I just hired this January, every other staff I have hired, I've had to train.
Okay.
I've had to train how to build robots, how to teach AI, how to use AI first, and then how to teach AI,
Teach me
and
right.
then how to build, how to write codes. I've had to do that. I've paid for classes for them. So it's
Wow.
not necessarily I didn't get them specifically because I needed people to just maybe write code or teach people. I needed a whole lot of things. I work with students. I needed people that are disciplined. I've had a lot of issues with secondary school girls and things like that, whatnot. It's the teacher said this, she said, he said. I've seen this happen across different schools, molestation, and all of these things. So that's my first. After, can you teach? Can you teach? When I say can you teach, not just stand in front of a board and teach. No, can you explain it to me in a way that I would understand? Forget serious terminologies and all of that. Can you give examples? Can you make it simple? So after that, the next thing I look at is, how disciplined are you? Are you
Hmm.
the kind of person that will finish a class and sit down with the girls and the boys and start chatting about nonsense? Are you the type that will give your students your WhatsApp number and chat with them? All of those are very important to me. So those two qualities trump other qualities, like, okay, do you know how to write codes? Do you know how to, all of those things can be taught as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, it's worked for me so far, so good. At the same time, I've had people reach out to me and say that um I want to do what you do. Can you, I know I also consult, can you help me out? And I'm like, okay. I train them, I give them access to our curriculum. Basically, they sometimes use my company name to teach. So we have one of those kind of partners in Lagos. And then we can make sure that it's a win-win for everybody. You
Okay.
can make money, you can get paid, we can impact more students working together than working apart. So that's like how I get my team members. Trust me, one thing you should also know is that people leave.
Yeah.
And I get why you'd hire someone and say, why should I train this person when this person will up and leave? I get that. But if you do that and decide not to train or not to do anything, end up you end up having subpar people work with you. And the truth about it is, the strength of your team or of your company is just as good as your weakest link. So you refuse to trade, it means that you're as good as your weakest link. So you're not as good.
Yeah. Hmm.
Basically, that's just what I do. you know my staff, the one of my staff, I was in Japan last year, and so I am my Nitda sponsored my business to go for Jitex Nigeria, which happened in Lagos last year. And I was in Japan at that time, and I was thinking, okay, do I come back and then just attend? I was considering all of those options, and I decided to send someone there. And after the entire thing, my staff got back and told me that he was leaving.
Okay. After
After
attending the event.
attending, meeting people, exchanging numbers, and he came back and told me he was leaving.
Oh.
So it's normal for people to leave. People don't come to stay with you forever. It hurts. It hurts,
But it's the
and
truth.
especially when you have put in so much into that person, it hurts a lot. Because trust me, I'd put in a lot. I had spoken to my lawyer about making that person a co-founder in my business, you
Wow.
know and this happened. But it doesn't stop me from functioning. Rather, I think it actually propelled me, because I thought about new directions, new
Okay.
options, and I'm beginning to implement those options, and I'm doing even way better than I was when the person was here. So I
Hmm.
just think that, like I said, it's, if you don't train or expose your team, If you're the only one running with a vision, it's exhausting
Hmm.
because you can't be there always.
All the
At some
time.
point, you will break down, and you need people that can carry your vision and run with it until you're ready to get back in the race. Because there are a lot on your shoulders as a founder or a business owner, from marketing to taking decisions to purchasing, supply. There's a whole lot,
Expenses.
expense making, and there's a whole lot on you, so sometimes you're just exhausted, and if you don't have people that are willing to run with your vision, you'd realize that it's not so easy. So, and the truth about it, if you're going to pick someone and say, okay, I'm not going to train the person, I'm not going to do anything, you still feel it, because at that point in time when you should be resting and somebody else is running with your vision, you still need to call and check in and give instructions. And so at the end of the day, you are still not resting. You are still not, you still do the work. That's just it.
Exactly. I appreciate your mindset and how you view people and their options. And the fact that you were able to apply the strategy of how to look at a no as a way of adjusting your mindset to different options and preparing you ahead for greater responsibilities or challenges. But now let's go into your business. Can you mention a unique aspect of your business that you never knew would be able to open such way out, but it's actually working and it's having an impact in the lives of these young ones you actually have as your students? Can you relate to me like a specific experience, or just let us know?
Okay, we have a lot of coding, a lot of robotics instructors, and one thing I've learned is that no two people are the same. They could have the same idea, but they would execute it in different manners. Now, a lot of schools, a lot of teachers, a lot of coding instructors usually shy away from competitions. And I'm going to say that we have a lot of people going for maths competition. Science. It's more difficult when you're going for a robotics competition. It's not a maths competition. If you know the thing, you know the thing. But when you do robotics, you realize that electrical components are very fickle. You could do something right and get to the place, and somehow it just did not work. There's a whole lot riding on you, there's a whole lot of expectations and all of that. So a lot of them would shy away from, um would shy away basically from going to competitions. So I one thing that we do at my organization, we push for competitions. We push the students, both the primary school students and secondary school students. And we don't push for local competitions within our states, we push for international competitions. So it makes us stand out because you are wondering how we have people in small places, small schools. Sometimes I've had times when we've gone to a competition and we're talking to people from other schools, and we're hearing schools like, oh, I go to this school, our school fees is 1.5 million naira, our school fees is 1 million naira, our school fees is 800,000. And they're asking your students how much of them, they're saying their school fees is 40,000 naira.
And then the same competition. Are you
Same
surprised that?
competition, the
Yeah.
40,000 naira people come first and second and third, and the 1.2 million naira students are coming seventh. And you're like,
Wow.
oh, wow.
So
So
it's like
it,
exposes them places that they will ordinarily not go to or even be,
yes,
and people they ordinarily not meet. It like helps
yes.
them to get to
Yes,
meet these
that is,
ones.
we do a lot of that. That's one of the things that we don't joke with, global exposure. Currently, we're working with some companies in Japan because we want to be able to take students to Japan for an exchange program. That's another part of exposure. At the same time, we're also working with some organizations for that can host our kids virtually for tech conferences and workshops. And this makes it unique because we don't have any of those coding instructors out there doing that. You understand? We take out the time when we say we give them access to global opportunities. We really do give them access to global opportunities. We have some students that would, in 2 weeks' time, be discussing with students across the world on the youth dialogue challenge to talk about problems that is major problems in their countries and how to solve them. We also have partnering institutions that are looking for winners to sponsor them in terms of scholarships, gifts, virtual internships, and all of that. So when we say, like I said, that we give access to global opportunities, we do. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter how small your school is or how low income your family is. We give you that opportunity to stand tall in the midst of your peers, especially those of them that come from very well renowned backgrounds.
Yeah.
So that's just something we do.
It's a milestone for these children. Like, I'm imagining myself in their situation. I'll be like, yeah, this is something beyond what I'm paying for. I think they feel like that.
I don't think
So
they feel like that. These children don't feel like that. The
they
parents maybe
do.
feel like that. The children don't feel like that. Trust me.
Probably they don't know the weight of the support,
No, they
but
don't.
later
They will get
on,
it at some point, but they don't right now.
yeah.
And that's fine. They are young. So
Mm, like you said, dealing with children, you have to be patient with them. You just have to give them that opportunity. So, like I mentioned, do you have a specific experience that shows the impacts your organization is having on the lives of these young children?
we have various experiences that shows. Apart from competitions that our students have gone and won, we also have, like I said, we take classes, free classes, paid classes to teach these children, and we have them use their skills in the real world. So we have students who learned graphics design at some point and are currently designing flyers, logos, banners for small and medium size. But I have somebody that will go on Facebook and say, I want to create 50 flyers for 50 small businesses at 1,500 naira for one flyer. The first 50 businesses to send a DM has that order. And I'll see people of over 50, 60 persons reaching out and saying, please help me design my flyer, help me design a logo. And that child, I know the child because we train the child and we can see that, yes, indeed, that child is doing well. We are currently, like I said, sending students for internship. So we have organizations that we partner with where these children would go during the holiday period. And they don't just go there and sit down. The idea of our interns, our student interns that go there are supposed to help with tech task. So things like typing, creating PowerPoint, content creation, data entry. When you get our students as interns, they handle all of that for you. So we have a lot of organizations telling us, oh please, during holiday, please, I need two interns to come over to my place. I need them to help me enter data from my book into the system. I need them to help me do this. I need them to help me do that. And so it's a win-win. They can see that they are doing this and it's something that they are practicing. So they know that not only are they practicing their tech skills, they are also getting real life work experience. At the same time, they are getting certificates for this because for students that would want to leave the country at some point for either university education or certain kinds of conferences and workshops, these certificates give them a leg up. So these are just some of the impacts that we have been able to make over the past 2021 till now. That's like 5 years. So over the past 5 years, and currently we've trained over 2,000 students, and we're still training. So these are just some of the things that we have done and we're still doing.
I can really say it's a milestone for your organization and for the lives of the children. This is an authentic hustle. Yes, and kudos to you and your team for all the the hustle and the work going on behind the scene. You get it.
Thank you very much. My
I feel
staff would
like
always say, I make it look easy. I don't know how I do that,
uh,
but they say I make it look easy because obviously they don't see when I cry. They don't see,
ah yeah yeah yeah.
but they always say I make it look easy. So
Hmm. So
I think I'm
kudos to
doing
you
something
too.
right.
You,
Thank
you
you.
make it feel lightweight on them, and I think that's why they support you too in this your business. So now I feel like a lot of people listening right now don't even know about you, what you do, and what you're into, and how many lives of people you're actually having an impact on. So can you really tell one particular thing behind this, like a unique information about your business that might help someone considering search, or can even educate them if at all they want to start something like this on their own? Like that is the fact, that is the
Okay.
reason for inside the hustle. We really
The
want
thing
to
you
know
need
what
to
is that thing
know
behind your hustle.
is just learning, continuous learning.
Hmm.
The thing about it is you learn one thing, you wake up tomorrow morning and there's something else. We've just finished coding, now we're hearing vibe coding. We've not even finished, they just wake up and you just see something like, where do I want to learn this one? It's a whole lot. People don't tell you that. This sometimes it's draining. Like, so I just tell myself, I can't do everything. That's where the partnership comes in. I can't do everything. I am primarily a programmer, but I have people that work with me. I have robotics expert that works with me, and because of that, I've learned a bit of robotics. I have somebody that plays around with 3D animation, and because of that, I have learned that as well. So the idea is to never stop. The thing about just to never stop learning, and also research. We don't do a lot of research in Nigeria. We don't. We feel when we hear research, it has to do with go and do, you are doing a project, your university research or your master's degree. It's a lie. You need to research. You see, research, you
Hmm.
need to do research because I look every day, I'm learning what are new platforms for children, what are platforms for children, new platforms for children, what can be upgraded. Is there a new learning pattern, a new learning style? Is there a new application that works best for a particular thing? So I want to teach game development and to children, and I'm looking at, okay, I used to use maybe Kodu before, and I'm like, okay, now I found out that there's G develop. These are two different applications, by the way. Okay, how do I do that? Do I stop this one going to this one, or how can I, okay, can I make this one for the younger children, make this one for the older? So even though they are all doing game development, for younger children they use this application, older children uses this application. At the same time, I also need to learn how to use applications. I can teach properly, then also be able to pass along that message very well to the in a way that they can. So sometimes you need to look at learning resources. I sometimes I have to buy. I have to order play resources from China. Where we're teaching robotics, I look at them play toy robots and get them to look at the toy robots, play around with it in class for the primary school kids. How does that work? Then explain to them how the robot works in real life. Then I can show them the connection. So they might not necessarily be able to do it by themselves, but they can understand the logic behind it, how it works and how it's developed. For the secondary school students, they can begin to build and do this themselves and even create, include AI features in it and all of that. So it's basically a non-stop learning and researching process. You need to keep finding out. Just yesterday I was looking at, okay, I want to include I have already have AI as a course, but I said, okay, in all of our courses, we'll remove AI specifically as a course and infuse AI to every course we're doing. So now we have coding with AI, we have robotics as and AI, we have, you understand? So everything 3D, everything we're teaching, we're including AI in it. So AI is no longer a standalone because we realized that, okay, in other countries, they released AI for children curriculum, you understand, AI for children curriculum that works for children. So, and this, when I we looked, I went where I was able to go through this curriculum, I realized that they are infusing AI to everything they are doing. To learn mathematics, how can you use AI to learn maths better? How can you use AI to learn science better? So I decided that, okay, for our tech courses, we're going to need to include AI in it. So we're not teaching AI as a standalone, but rather we're teaching it to them to use it in every way. And also we're teaching them how to use it the right way and the safe way. So it's just like I said, one non-stop learning process and researching process. That's basically what we do.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Mrs. Anita and Gary, for walking us through your hustle and the behind the scenes too. This is a very inspiring one, honestly, I must say. And I would like to speak in behalf of those listening, our audience. So, if one has interest to join your courses, your virtual courses, or maybe even in person on within your area, so are you available for such? Can they reach out to you?
Of course, why not? We're always open for teaching, collaborating. We're open for anything.
Oh, so what will happen is, if you don't mind, we would like to add information together with this post. They can easily access you, reach out to you.
Yeah. Okay. We even have a YouTube channel called Nibis
Okay,
Tech by Anita and Gary. We have a YouTube channel, Nibis Tech by Anita and Gary. But you can also reach us on all social media platforms, like Facebook, Instagram. So once you type Nibis Tech, I think you should be able to search for that. We also have our email, which is www.nibisedutech. That's spelled NIBIS, then EDUTECH, nibisedutech.com. You can find all of our information, any contact information you need from any of those platforms, and you can definitely reach out to us.
definitely. Thank you so much for sharing those vital informations, Mrs. Anita. It has been a fun evening. In fact, I wish maybe you said you don't teach adults anymore. I would have contemplated like joining yours, but might not be patient enough for me, so that's fine.
I can make an exception for you.
Well, that's fine. The fact that you chose these children and you paid attention to people in lower classes, like lower areas, schools that don't really have such opportunities, you reach out to these children. It shows an aspect of you that is really commendable. And I know that a lot of people who have been contemplating such, you've given them a boost or an idea to start their own hustle.
Most people want to do luxury. They are, aiming for, if I do this 5 million one time and I hit. But I look at it, if I do this 1,000, and you realize that the big schools mostly, yes, some of them have the numbers, but when you put in total all of these little ones, trust me, the numbers are a lot. And so with time, we've been able to, like I said, get across different states where we are in. And sometimes in a school we have a total of 150 children, another school we have a total of 200 children. There are some schools we have a total of up to 3 to 400 children that we're teaching. And before you know what happened, you get a total of maybe about 1,000 children for that term. And if you were to charge, let me just give an instance and say you're charging 3,000 naira times 1,000 children, obviously you know that that's like 3 million naira. And you were looking out for one school, one big school that will give you maybe 3 million naira for the term. When you've done what I've done and you've gotten that same money, yes, you might not get it as easily, as it's not just a 1 day thing, but it's something
Yeah,
that you get over time. And good thing about this is it keeps growing. So the more impact I make, the more people, the more students I reach out to, the more opportunities my students get. I have students that have gotten opportunities in different countries. I have students that have gotten admissions to study different things. And the more opportunities they get, I think one of our students last year went for Digital for All Challenge. It was something that the government and NITDA did, and my students went up to the finale, which happened, which was in Abuja. Got sponsored to come from Jos, all the way from Jos to Abuja. They sponsored everybody anyway, all the people that made it to the finale, and he has won a scholarship. He has won a scholarship for
Hmm.
university. He's currently in SS3, so he has won a scholarship for university as well as money is attached. So it just tells you that yes, we're doing something right. So if I wanted to look through the 1 million naira schools, those ones are very I used to going abroad for holidays. So what I don't really think they would value a scholarship as somebody who
Don't
you
have
know,
such opportunities.
some people that don't have such opportunities. So I think make more impact looking at people that would benefit and people that actually need it. Giving a scholarship to somebody that has 100 million in their account, it doesn't really mean anything. But giving a scholarship to somebody that could not even fund university education, now that is actually impact. So that's just what you should strive to do.
Yes. So I know looking back and the many no's you've gotten, you notice that your yes has increased, if not even multiplied, than the no's you got.
True, but I still get no's. I still get no's. Even at night, I still get no's. Just that sometimes, or majority of the time, when people look at what we've done, they end up giving us a yes. So um, um, we were trying to do something with some organizations, and they'll be like, okay, what's your track record? Can we see how many students life you've touched? Can we see competitions and workshops you've attended, and all of those things? And we are able to show that yes, we've done this, we've done that, and for that reason you get chosen over somebody else. So sometimes even when you could have gotten a no, because had you've had experience, because you have something to show that this is what you have done, yes, you get chosen. So the idea is, while you're getting no's, don't just be stagnant. Try building yourself. I can remember there are a lot of times I've sat with my own laptop. Brought children together, use my own laptop to teach them, and I'll just take pictures and say, yes, so we've had a private class. And the thing is, those were sessions that I had, with my one broken down laptop, and but nobody knew what's happening. It was private class and it was there and it was moving and we're moving. So by the time somebody is looking at our page and saying, okay, she has been teaching privately and all of that and all of that and all of that. So that way you have experience, you have something to show for it. So start people don't really understand how to start small. People want to start from 50. Most people enjoy starting from 50. It's an easy place to start from. It's more difficult to start from zero. But I think that starting from zero teaches you a whole lot that starting from 50 would not. From resilience, perseverance, to even learning how to give yourself grace, because trust me, you need to learn how to give yourself grace as well. And celebrating your small wins. You know how happy I was when I got my first school that paid me 400, as in I could have beaten anybody that day. If you just talk to me, I just tell you how much you have in your account, that kind
Can
of thing.
you imagine the push?
Oh, that was it. That's what I'm trying to explain. But we've grown from that point, to where we are
Mm,
right now. We are not just people, not just the students we're impacting, but also impacting the lives of our staff, because they all go through trainings, international trainings, not just local trainings anymore. We now do international trainings. So they are all internationally certified. So
wow.
I'd like to think that they live better than when they joined us. That's how it is.
Mm,
Sometimes I even help them with opportunities. I know I've seen one of my staff, I saw a virtual coding opportunity job, virtual coding for a job outside of the country. It was a company outside of Nigeria that was hiring. And I said, okay, I think you can do this. And I sent, the link and said you can apply. And then he applied and he got chosen as one of their tutors, and he's been teaching international as foreign children from, I think it's been over a year now,
mm,
up until this time. So we're not just saying come and work for us and just dedicate everything. We're saying we're a team. We're trying to build together. Let's build something that lasts.
the last. Yeah. This it has really been intensive, and thank you so much for really taking us through your hustle. And we hope that, and we know, and we hope that more opportunities, more yes, and the no's that will help you to guide your steps into the right direction would help your business and organization to grow more. So
Thank
thank
you
you
very,
once again
very
on
much.
behalf of Tech is Africa and to our audience. I know there's so much that you have heard here that have given you inspiration. If you want to reach out to her, just her informations will be down here in the YouTube link.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I am grateful. I had a wonderful time talking to you, Miss Abigail. It's fantastic to actually just talk and actually be real rather than only talk about
Yeah.
the good part, and the most times we only talk about the good parts. And okay, my business got chosen last year to as one of three to represent Nigeria in Japan, and people are like, wow, you did amazing. Okay, my business was one of those sponsored by Needs that to celebrate to be at Jitex Nigeria. Oh wow, you're doing this, you're doing that. Okay, our team was one of those selected to represent Nigeria in Qatar. You know, when you hear things like that, you're like, oh wow, they're doing fantastic. And nobody tells you that after all of those things, I came home. Sometimes I came home and I sat down on my bed and I drank Gary.
They don't have to know. Yeah. They
But
don't
the
have to
truth,
know.
yeah, but the truth about it is, it happens. There
Yeah,
are
it
days
does.
when I eat rice and turkey and chicken and moi moi and salad. There are days like that, and there are days when, because schools are owing and I've not paid yet, I had to pay off
Mm,
salaries, or I had to put in money and my monies are tied down somewhere, and I didn't have anything in my house. So I sat down and I bought granite and I drank gari and we left it like that.
yeah.
But yeah, so we need to also know that yes, the good outweighs the bad. We've gotten to the point where the good outweighs the bad. But I always say something that I try as much as possible to I make sure. My husband will always tell you that I'm very humble. He says, I
Mm,
like your humility. Humble in the sense that when he talks, I'm like, ah, but I don't think I've done. He's like, I like your humility. It keeps you humble, so you don't start
place
overdoing and
yourself so
overflowing.
high.
Exactly. So I think it also, like he says, it keeps me humble. I remember where I am coming from. I remember what I want to achieve. And so I don't go off direction. I am always on the right track. So I think it all works.
Yes, I think that's why we are here. That's why we have inside the hustle. Those things people don't really see, those things people don't really know about. This forum, this session is here to address that and just to help us to know the real you, to understand the real struggle, and even give inspiration on how to approach the next direction. So once again, thank you. We have actually exceeded our time limit, so we'll have to
Okay,
call
no
it today
problem.
here.
All right, no problem. It was
Yes,
really nice
but I
talking
do,
to
I
you.
wish we talk more, but let's just keep it here.
All right, no
Yes,
problem. Thank you
looking
very
forward
much.
to having you again and more in your
Yeah.
hustle.
All right, no problem. Thank
Yes,
you very
have a
much. Have a
lovely
good night.
evening and weekend.
Yeah, have
Yes,
a good night too.
bye.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Mhm.